Hey crafty friends, this is Brandy over at brandystamps.com. I want to show you guys a fun way to make a bunch of cute cards in an easy pattern today. It is called the Criss-Cross One Sheet Wonder. Now, I've been a demonstrator for a long time and I've always loved the style of the one sheet wonder. If you haven't heard that phrase before, it refers to taking one sheet of paper, designer paper, cardstock, and then somehow there's a special way to cut it into pieces where you can make a bunch of cards out of it. So this one, we're going to lay it out, stamp it in a crisscross pattern, and make 4 cards in just a few minutes. And I want to challenge you guys to give it a try and then show me what you made. Let's get started. For this one sheet wonder, you're going to need just one sheet of basic white cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11, but you're going to trim it down by 1 inch each direction. So here's my trimmer. I'll just take off 1 inch off this side. This will make it 10 inches instead of 11. And then we'll turn it the other way. It's easier to trim it first so you don't stamp anything that you're going to waste. And 1 inch off that way, so now it's 7.5. You'll also want to choose a stamp set to work with. I have picked out the Sweet Citrus stamp set, which is in our current annual catalog. And then you'll want usually 3 colors to work with. That's not a hard rule, but I have picked green, yellow, and blue. More specifically, I'm doing Granny Apple Green, but I also have an accent of soft sea foam. And then I'm doing Daffodil Delight, but I've also got Lemon Lolly to go with that one. And then Azure Afternoon, which is a beautiful newer blue color. I want to show you something with my stamp set before we get started. This Sweet Citrus stamp set actually has these 4 rinds of the fruits connected, and then these 3 kind of pulp parts of the fruit are connected. So that's one stamp, and this is one stamp. I have actually taken my scissors and cut them apart so they are no longer connected. I did not trim any of the photopolymer off because they are still reattachable. They're kind of like a little puzzle. If I get my E-block out, I can lay them out in this exact same pattern and they come back together exactly how they're supposed to be because I line up these little junctions with each other. And so I can still use them with the embossing folder and dies that coordinate with them. But I've been doing so much stamping with these and enjoy using them each piece on their own. So I cut mine apart. That's just a heads up. That's something you can do if you're careful. So I'm going to start with my Daffodil Delight stamping. And here's my cardstock. The idea is I'm going to stamp it in a crisscross pattern. So that's where the name of this comes from, the Criss-Cross One Sheet Wonder. So I'm going to do about 2 inches of width of stamping all the way through this center and all the way through this center. And it does not have to be perfect. They can overlap. I want it filled in fairly thickly so that I have lots of cool stamping. I'll do one that's kind of right in the middle. Whenever I am doing random stamping, I like to start with the largest image first. And so this big lemon is my largest image. Maybe I'll throw one more down here. So they're not always perfectly spaced. And now I'll come in with my centers and fill those in. Okay, let's go back now to my rind. I've also got this little sort of half lemon. Let's put one of those here. And this, there really is no rhyme or reason. I've done it a bunch of times. There's no certain way to place these, no width that's right. A couple tips that I would give you is turn your stamps around and around. So see how I just rotated that? So one lemon slice is facing this way while one goes that way. You'll want to get the stamps showing in each quadrant. So I want to put one that's kind of down here. We'll do lots of lemons on that edge, and that should be good. So fill it in nicely. You don't want lots of white gaps through your stamped area because you're going to cut this apart later, and you want those areas filled in nicely. So don't be afraid to put stamps really close together or even overlapping, and just have fun with it. There's no wrong way. I would also say start with the larger stamps. It's easier to start big and then work down because your last ones can fit in any tiny spot. Next, I'm going to work with my greens and do some limes. So here's my little half rind. This is probably my favorite image. So I'll do plenty of these. And now I'll go in with my lighter green color, soft sea foam. Take my half slice of fruit. Want to tuck these down deep so it goes all the way down into the wedge. Okay, and now I've also got my full filled in limes. So I'll kind of go fill in some of my big spaces with these because this is the last of my large fruits. Maybe I'll put one more guy in here. A couple of them sitting together. And then this set had a really great little flower image. And I tried a good combo with the yellow and green. I tried a bunch of different colors. Red is cute, dark pink is cute, purple is really fun. I landed on this Azure Afternoon. It probably was partly because this is a brand new color, so it's extra fun to work with. But I just loved how the blue was such a fun complement to this green and the yellow. And so I'm just adding these wherever I feel like it. I don't want them to look too perfect. I'm doing a lighter one and a darker one sometimes. Just keep filling in. And we'll do a couple more here. Now I'm looking at each quadrant. Maybe I want one here. Let them overlap right onto everything. Okay, I love it. Really, really fun. Cute. And then I've got these little flower centers. We can go through and add those as well. Let's go ahead and skip forward a little bit. I'm just going to switch over to one that I had already finished all the stamping on so that I can show you the next part. What you're going to do next is actually cut this in half this way and in half this way. So I know that this is 10 inches, so it'll be 5 and 5 right here. And then this way, oh, I got a smudge. I'll have to cover that up. Yep, I've got blue ink on my finger. It's okay, we're gonna fix it. Okay, this one is 7 1/2, which means 3 3/4 is my halfway. So there's those two. And then these two. You can see how they once were. All I've done is cut them in 4. And then I want to do some card bases. So I pulled out some card bases in all kind of the matching colors. Oh, I told you I had tried Gorgeous Grape. That was actually really cute with this combo too, but we didn't use it. So here are the 5 colors I stamped with. I'm just going to grab these first 4. I've got them scored already. We'll just run a little seal adhesive on the backs of all 4 of these. And then I can turn these. Let's see, do I want that one to open this way or this one? Let's do this one in that direction and this one. So we have 2 this way and 2 that way. Now my stamp set has 4 greetings in it, conveniently. You could reach for a different set for your greetings. You are welcome to stamp directly on here for your greetings themselves. I have cut out some little scraps of white. I'm going to grab my darker green. This was my Granny Apple Green. We've got Enjoy the sweeter things in life. Okay. And I dropped the other one on the floor, so I guess I'll stamp that one on directly onto the card. Cute. And then these guys, of course, that one has a smudge, so that's where we want the greeting. How about that? Grab a few of my little dimensionals. Oh, this sheet's almost gone. I'll show you what I do when they're almost gone. Put some on these guys too. I just get a hold of it and I just tear it. Some people go in and snip these and stuff, but I don't know. I like to be a little quicker than that. Let's go one here. And I always use up all the edges. Okay. So we were going to do this one here. Cute. And now to finish these off, you're just going to want to grab whatever little embellishments you like. I am using our iridescent pearls. This is a new staple that looks good on pretty much any project. And I will just grab my take your pick tool. It makes picking these up and placing them on my projects easier. So I can just scrape it off and place it. And I like to usually do odd numbers. So I'll usually go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just place those pretty randomly. I don't usually think too hard about it. And that is it. Just like that, I have made a cute little bunch of cards that are ready to go. Have shown off one of my favorite stamp sets and a fun color combo that was new to me. And I loved it. That was so quick and fun. I hope you enjoyed learning all about the Criss-Cross One Sheet Wonder, and I cannot wait to see what you will do with it. So start thinking about your stamp set, create yours, and share it with me today, and I can't wait to see what you do. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.